Hi, I'm Wendy Shannon, and I'm talking to you from my kitchen in Atlanta, Georgia. So let me tell you a little bit about my cooking, how I learned to cook, and my cooking style. I learned to cook like a lot of Southern women learned to cook from my mother and my grandmother. They were both incredible cooks, and they just allowed me to be in the kitchen and experience them cooking, and allowed me to crawl up on a stool when I was little and handed me a bowl and handed me a spoon and let me stir something. So I don't know if it was something that we were going to eat that night, but they allowed me to participate in that cooking experience, and that's how I learned to cook. And my grandmother was an incredible Southern cook. She cooked a lot, and you enjoyed eating at her table, especially on Sunday supper, as she called it, especially when the preacher was coming for dinner. That was always a special time to be in my grandmother's kitchen, and especially to be at my grandmother's table. But I've had the opportunity to learn a lot about cooking from the people in my life and from the experiences that I've had from, when I was little and I was in Girl Scouts and I was looking to earn my cooking badge. I had to cook dinner for my parents and my sisters, my two sisters one night. And my mother gave me good marks, but in the write-up to my Scoutmaster, she said my dish needed more color. So even today, when I'm cooking, I don't forget that. Actually, last night I cooked dinner for my husband, Tim, and me, and I actually fixed one of Giada's recipes, her shrimp lemon risotto. And I made it without the shrimp. I just made the lemon risotto with red grouper, but it needed some color, so I added asparagus, and it was different, and it was good, and it had color, Mom. So the other places where I've learned to cook is I grew up a lot of my childhood in Florida. I'm actually from Pensacola, and I have a love for coastal cuisine and love to cook coastal foods. But also my best friend in high school went to college in New Orleans, so I had the opportunity to visit her with her mother. We had the opportunity to dine at incredible restaurants in New Orleans, so I love that Cajun cuisine as well. Other opportunities I've had to be around people that love food and love to cook is when I was with Southern Living magazine. And whether I was around people that were in the test kitchen or just all of us that love food and love to eat out, just had the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of incredible food experiences. So I consider myself a good cook. I know us Southerners, we like to brag on ourselves, but I consider myself a good cook. I do consider myself competitive. I can tell you at Thanksgiving, I always cook Thanksgiving dinner for 8 of us. And I'm kind of like that character on Friends, Monica Geller. So she always likes to compete with herself, and I like to compete with myself at Thanksgiving. So every Thanksgiving, I try to outdo myself and make a Thanksgiving meal that's different than the year before, but also not expected. So, but the year I tried not to fix a turkey, I had mutiny on my hands. So I do always fix a turkey. It might be with a little different twist, but that's how I like to cook. I do cook like a lot of home cooks. I do refer to recipes a lot, but I do like to add my own element after I fixed it the first time, and add my own twist to it, and that makes my food a little different, and it keeps it exciting for me in the kitchen. So I am a control freak in the kitchen, but I am a control freak in general. I do love to have my friends in the kitchen. I love to cook for my friends. But it's interestingly enough, a lot of people don't cook any longer. So the fact that I do cook, my friends do enjoy coming over and having meals with Tim and me. And since I am a control freak in the kitchen, I do kind of cook myself, but everybody's in the kitchen, enjoying the experience, drinking wine. And my friends that aren't great cooks don't like to be in the kitchen because we have had accidents before where my friends have cut themselves. And I don't like to have the EMTs in my house during dinner parties. Some of the favorite things in my kitchen, I love aprons, and I love to collect aprons, and my friends will send me aprons, or I love to buy aprons, and it's kind of my signature to wear, especially a lot of vintage aprons, fun vintage looking aprons I enjoy wearing. I have lots and lots of cookbooks. I've collected cookbooks over the years, and I have quite the collection, but one of my prized possessions is my grandmother's Betty Crocker cookbook. This was copyrighted in 1960. I don't use it often, but I just love it because it was hers. And she's actually has recipes that she probably cut out of magazines and newspapers stapled in. She actually has some recipes in her own handwriting. So it's falling apart, but it is one of my prized possessions. And I actually brought a picture of my grandmother. I'm not quite sure when this was taken, but this is not really the grandmother that I remember. She's much younger in this picture, but I remember an older woman, but just a woman that just loved the South and loved cooking. To tell you a little bit more about my family, a lot of my family is from Central Florida, and my family was part of the agricultural community there. They actually grew strawberries and sold them. They also owned an orange grove in Central Florida. So I actually brought a picture of my great-grandmother, who I never met, but this was probably taken in the 40s, and she's actually selling some of the strawberries that they grew at the time. So interestingly enough, today I'm going to be fixing a twist on strawberry shortcake. I'm actually going to make my grandmother's traditional sour cream pound cake, but with a twist, because we're going to be adding chocolate chips. And there's nothing better if it doesn't have chocolate in it. So I'm also going to be adding strawberries to that. So we'll have a little twist on strawberry shortcake.